Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Today we're going to be discussing the AEW contract expirations. And that is a good thing. So, in addition to Lio Rush, I saw numerous guys whose contracts are apparently on their way up for AEW. Some of the names I saw bandied around. Of course, none of this is official, but I saw Lio Rush, I saw Brian Cage, I saw Peter Avalon, Marco Stunt, Sonny Kiss. That's just 5. I'm pretty sure there's somebody else whose contract is going to be coming up recently. And AEW is going to choose not to bring these people back. And with the exception of Lio Rush and Brian Cage, of course, nobody will miss any of these guys. Now, we talked about Lio Rush extensively. What got him in trouble, of course, was the whole thing with Tony Khan and Big Swole. Brian Cage, we talked about him too. You know, him and Melissa Santos complaining about the booking of his character. Brian Cage has not been used in AEW since June of 2021. It's been 6 whole months since he was booked to be on Dynamite or of anything special. That being said, these releases or expirations of contracts, if you don't want to call them releases, are a good thing. You know, but I think it's more telling that wrestling fans have been saying that a lot of these people, not Lio Rush and not exactly Brian Cage. I know some people like those two, but almost nobody likes Joey Janela. Outside of the GCW faithful, who the hell likes Joey Janela? And people have been saying that Joey Janela is absolute trash and have been saying that for 2 years. GCW fans definitely have been trying to sell Joey Janela on people. Oh, he's going to have this star-making match against Kenny Omega. Didn't work. You know, the guy can't cut a promo. They didn't even give him the microphone to cut a promo, if I don't remember correctly. I don't remember this guy saying anything outside. Well, I think he maybe talked during that feud he had with Penelope Ford and whatever her Eraserhead boyfriend name is, who's probably going to end up getting released too, if we're being honest. So, nobody cares about most of these guys. And that's what's keeping, you know, when people are saying, like, why isn't AEW getting so much heat for letting so many contracts expire? And it's like, look at the level of talent they're letting go. You think somebody cares about Peter Avalon? Nobody gives a shit. Sonny Kiss? Who the hell watches Dark? You know, none of these people care about any of these people. My position is the same as my position when WWE releases talent. It is what it is. Furthermore, my secondary position is the same as when WWE releases talent. You probably could cut more people, if we're being honest. Now, AEW weathered the storm. They survived NXT being put on directly opposite of them. And they survived WWE signing up all the indie talent possible, trying to deprive AEW of talent. So now AEW is going to reap the windfall of that because WWE went and released a ton of talent. And now AEW is licking their chops because there's so many decent to good wrestlers that are now on the roster now. They don't need most of these guys anymore. And I'm interested in what women won't be asked to come back. That's going to be very interesting too. You know, like there's always going to be a bunch of guys on the roster who are probably going to get let go and nobody will know or care. But what about all the girls they're probably going to have to let go? They don't really have a strong women's division as it is. But what about somebody like Penelope Ford? Somebody like Allie? I know that AEW fans ironically like Allie, just like they ironically like Hook. You know, it's all tongue-in-cheek. What if they decide not to bring her back? Because what purpose does she really serve? You know? Like, oh, she may have saved her job with the bloody blah, 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 street fight. It's like, yeah, but she can't cut a promo. And the guys that she was with, I don't see them. Where the hell is Butcher and the Blade? Did that contract run out too? And nobody said anything? So, and if it hasn't, it probably should because they sucked from day one. Just like Dark Order sucked from day one. There's a lot of people out there you could have signed to contracts. And AEW chose not to. But now, you know, Ring of Honor's, their entire roster is up for grabs. And WWE let out a lot of people. So now they have a chance to replenish their roster. And yeah, there's going to be people who are going to be gone. And a lot of the people that I've seen, none of it is worth throwing a big pity party over. You know, oh no, Lio Rush. It's like, it's Lio Rush. He'll be all right. You know, he's what, 27? He'll be all right. Brian Cage is near 40, but he'll probably be okay too. The rest of these guys, they were lucky to get those AEW jobs, and they really only got them because AEW was so strapped for talent, and because, of course, they were friends of people who had power in AEW. There needs to be more people to be released. You know, it's like, it takes them forever. I think the only person they fired in the entire 3-year history of AEW was Jimmy Havoc, and that was because he got, you know, called out for, I think, was it an underage girl that he supposedly beat up and had sex with, or something to that effect. The entire time AEW has existed, they fired one guy. One. Everybody else just kind of quietly disappeared and started doing something else. You know, I think the number of people who quit, which would be Kylie Ray, she quit, and the number of people who got fired, which was Jimmy Havoc, are the same. But, you know, they are now about to have this crazy influx of talent. They've already had a crazy influx of talent. They don't need all of these people, and there's still plenty more people that they don't need. Now they have so many, you know, upper to mid-card talent that they're now, you know, starting to use guys who were big signings less than 6 months ago, using them in mid-card feuds, like Malachi Black. The guy was a big deal less than a year ago. They've had to push him down to mid-card because, well, now they got Danielson, now they got Punk. Guy like Andrade, he's one step from being on Dark because now they got more talented guys coming in, and guess what? WWE just released a bunch of other people. So now there's going to be even more people coming in. So it may be that WWE's new plan is to have AEW spend itself into debt. To spend itself into poverty by paying people like Athena, aka Ember Moon, a ton of money to come in, or paying people like Tony Storm to come in, or a guy like Bray Wyatt or something, or Johnny Gargano, not seven, hopefully not 7, but at least 6 figures to come in, while these people were not going to be big money draws or big pay-per-view draws or big TV attractions for them. Could that be the new plan? That, hey, these guys want to spend some money, let them spend it. You know, maybe. But I think it says a lot about the people who were there in 2019, who we said were trash from the beginning, that at the first chance of new talent coming in, these guys started to go away. Yeah. So we saw that Tony Khan just needed bodies. He didn't care about this shit. He just needed bodies. You know, Big Swole was just the start of something that is now, you know, becoming more and more obvious. That the 2019 AEW class were just guys, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel for talent. Not bringing in people that were any good. They were bringing in cheap talent, trying to build around them. Found out that they weren't very good because they were being told constantly that they weren't very good. And now they say, well, look, we have access to so many other better talent. We don't need to try to force people to believe Joey Janela or Big Swole is any good anymore. We don't have to pretend that anybody cares about Peter Avalon anymore. We don't have to pretend that anybody gives a damn about Brian Cage anymore. We can now start getting rid of people. And I said, you should have been doing this from the beginning. You probably should have been doing this from the beginning. And keeping around people like, you know, Big Swole or something like that. You did miss out on some of the other people WWE did bring in, and even though they ended up firing them later. Why didn't AEW reach out to Taya first? Why didn't they get Mercedes Martinez first? Their recruitment has always been the problem. But now it seems like, you know, the biggest recruitment they could have now is, hey, you used to be on NXT. We're going to bring you in. So we see that the 2019 class, which is most of the people who are going to get cut, or their contracts are going to expire. I'm sorry. They're not being cut. Their contracts are being expired, and they're not being re-signed. And it's a good thing. You know, they're finally flushing the toilet. And I got to give AEW credit for that.